Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready.
Awesome. So today, we're taking a look at something, well, a little spooky, I guess you could say.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about all those creatures and supernatural stuff that pop up in movies and TV shows. You know, everything from killer dolls.
Oh, yeah, those are always creepy.
Right, to like zombie apocalypses and everything in between.
I see, so kind of a wide range then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at a bunch of different sources, like the Alien franchise,
Classic.
Stranger Things, Power Rangers, even some musicals.
Wow, quite a mix.
Yeah. The goal is to see, like, how these themes are used in all these different genres, you know, from horror to science fiction, comedy, even a little bit of fantasy thrown in there.
Sounds fascinating. So where do we start?
Well, first, I think it's important to note that these stories about the supernatural and all those fantastical creatures, they've been around forever.
You're right, they've been captivating audiences for centuries.
And it's interesting, right, how the sources we're looking at, they approach these themes in such different ways. I mean, some are straight up terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
While others are more family friendly.
Yeah.
You know. But let's start with horror, shall we? It's a genre that just never seems to go out of style.
And for good reason, right?
Right.
It taps into some of our most primal fear. The fear of the unknown, the dark, the things that go bump in the night.
Exactly. And I think that's why it's so effective. You know, it forces us to confront those fears, even if it's just through a screen.
Absolutely. And speaking of confronting fears, we have to talk about the Alien franchise. I mean, the original Alien, it's a masterpiece of slow burn sci-fi horror. You're trapped on this spaceship with this terrifying creature.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
And you have no idea what it's capable of. It's pure terror.
Yeah. And then you have the sequel, Aliens, which is just as iconic, but it takes a completely different approach.
Right. Aliens is more action-packed. It's a full-on war against these xenomorphs.
Yeah. And it introduces the Queen Xenomorph, which is even more terrifying than the original Alien.
Oh, absolutely. That puppet, that Queen Xenomorph puppet they used was groundbreaking for its time. I mean, can you imagine the challenges they faced?
I bet. But it worked. The effects still hold up even today.
They really do.
But why do you think so many sequels, especially in horror, lean into that action, you know? Is it because audiences expect it, or is there something else going on?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. Sequels often have to up the ante, you know, to keep the audience engaged.
Right.
And in the case of Aliens, introducing a whole hive of xenomorphs plus the Queen definitely raised the stakes. It made the shift to action feel natural, you know?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, so we've got these terrifying aliens, but then there's another type of horror that really gets under your skin. Killer dolls.
Oh, yeah, those are creepy.
We're talking about Child's Play and Annabelle, both of which tap into that primal fear of something that should be innocent becoming evil.
It's the uncanny valley effect, right? Something that looks human but isn't quite right.
Yeah. And Child's Play gave us Chucky, this murderous doll with this seriously twisted sense of humor.
Yeah.
He's become a horror icon.
Absolutely. And then there's Annabelle, which is part of the Conjuring universe.
Which, by the way, is based on the supposed real-life experiences of these paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren. Just that little bit of truth mixed in with the fiction.
Makes it so much creepier.
Totally. And Annabelle plays on our fear of the unknown, that idea that evil could be lurking in the most ordinary objects.
You know, a doll sitting there on a shelf, just watching you.
Okay, stop. You're going to give me nightmares. But speaking of masters of horror, we can't forget Stephen King, right?
Oh, of course not. He's a legend.
His novel, IT, and the two-part film adaptation, they perfectly capture that feeling of dread that can lurk beneath the surface of these seemingly normal small towns.
It's that sense of something sinister hiding in plain sight.
Right. And King, he's just so good at tapping into those childhood fears, you know? Like, I'm thinking specifically of Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Oh, yeah, Pennywise.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah.
And the two-part structure of the film adaptation, that lets us see how those childhood traumas, how they can stick with you, you know, even into adulthood.
It's a powerful exploration of trauma and how it can shape our lives.
It really is. And it's interesting how King uses this seemingly harmless figure, a clown, to represent something so evil.
It's brilliant, right? It subverts our expectations and makes us question the safety of even the most familiar things.
And that subversion of expectations, that's a key element in another horror subgenre we're looking at, slasher films.
Yes, slasher films full of suspense and, well, a lot of blood.
Yeah. And we've got the Scream franchise, which has been scaring audiences for 6 films now?
And they're making a 7th?
Wow. I think part of what makes Scream so successful is its self-awareness. It's like the filmmakers are winking at the audience, making fun of horror tropes.
Right, that meta commentary.
Yeah. While still delivering those genuine scares.
It's a clever balance. And then you have Scary Movie, which takes a completely different approach.
Scary Movie is all about the parody. It just throws all the slasher cliches in your face and says, look how ridiculous this is.
And it works. It allows us to laugh at the things that normally frighten us.
Exactly. So from the suspense of Alien to the self-aware scares of Scream, we've seen how horror can tap into our deepest fears and keep us coming back for more.
But our exploration of creatures and the supernatural, that doesn't end there. We'll be delving into other genres that offer unique perspectives on these themes, like science fiction and fantasy.
And maybe even a musical or two.
Oh, definitely.
Stay tuned. Okay, so we've talked about all the scary stuff, but, creatures and the supernatural, they're not always about horror, right?
Right.
So now I think we should dive into some science fiction and fantasy, see how those genres handle this whole, otherworldly thing.
That sounds good to me.
And one show that immediately comes to mind is Stranger Things. It's become a huge phenomenon.
It really has. I think it captures that sense of wonder that we often associate with science fiction and fantasy, possibility of other worlds, other dimensions.
Definitely. And Stranger Things blends that sense of wonder with this 80s nostalgia, like that Spielberg vibe.
Oh, totally. It's like E.T. meets the Goonies, but with a Demogorgon thrown in for good measure.
Yeah. And it's not just the creatures, right? It's the whole atmosphere, the music, the characters. It all just works together to create this really immersive world.
It's a world that feels both familiar and completely strange at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of things that are both familiar and strange, we have to talk about Power Rangers. This franchise has been around for 3 decades?
Something like that, yeah. It's incredible how it's managed to stay relevant for so long.
I know. And it all started with this Japanese series, Super Sentai.
Yeah, Power Rangers is basically an American adaptation of Super Sentai. They took the basic concept, the colorful suits, the giant robots, and made it their own. It's
a classic good versus evil story, but with martial arts and explosions, which, let's be honest, makes it way more fun.
Oh, for sure. And I think it appeals to that inner child in all of us, that desire to be a superhero, to fight for what's right.
It's funny, we were just talking about Stranger Things. And both shows feature these groups of kids who end up facing these, extraordinary challenges.
Yeah, that's true. It's like that coming-of-age story, but with a supernatural twist.
But they do it in such different ways, right?
Right.
Stranger Things it's more grounded in reality, even with the Demogorgons and the Upside Down. But Power Rangers, it's just pure fantasy.
It is, isn't it? Maybe it reflects how different generations approach these themes. I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so we've seen how science fiction and fantasy can take us to these other worlds and introduce us to these amazing creatures. But what about stories that bring the supernatural a little closer to home?
Oh, yeah. Like those stories where the magic is happening right here, right now in our world.
Exactly. And we've got some great examples of that. Let's start with The Umbrella Academy.
Now, that's a show that's not afraid to get weird.
I know. It's based on these comic books, and it follows this dysfunctional family of superheroes.
They're adopted siblings, right? And each of them has these unique powers.
Yeah. And they have to, put aside their differences and work together to prevent the apocalypse.
Which, of course, is never easy.
Never. But it's what makes the show so compelling, right? These characters are so flawed, so messed up, but they're also trying to do the right thing.
It's like a superhero drama with a healthy dose of family dysfunction.
And talking chimpanzee.
Oh, right.
Can't forget Pogo.
And then on a lighter note, we have Upside Down Magic. It's a Disney Channel show, so it's definitely geared towards a younger audience.
Yeah, it's more of a family-friendly take on magical abilities.
It takes place at this school for kids with magic called Sage Academy, and it's full of these quirky characters and these fun, different types of magic. Like you have kids who can control fire, kids who can turn into animals.
Yeah, talking squirrels even. It's just a lot of fun.
It really is. And it has a great message about, accepting yourself for who you are, even if you're a little different.
And then we have Descendants, which is another musical franchise, like zombies. But this one focuses on the teenage children of, get this, classic Disney villains.
Oh, that's a clever concept.
I know. It's like, what happens to the kids of Maleficent or Cruella de Vil? Do they inherit their parents' evil tendencies.
Or do they break free from those expectations?
Exactly. And it's all set to these catchy pop songs and these big dance numbers.
It's like a classic Disney Channel musical, but with a villainous twist.
So from the dark streets of Hawkins to the magical halls of Sage Academy, we've seen how different genres can use creatures and the supernatural to create these really unique worlds. And it's interesting, right, how these stories can be both terrifying and heartwarming depending on, how they're approached.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes these themes so fascinating. They can be interpreted in so many different ways.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's still more to explore. Let's talk about what happens when you mix genres, specifically comedy and horror. All right, so we've talked about horror, we've talked about science fiction, fantasy, even musicals. But what about when you take these elements, these creatures and supernatural stuff, and you throw them into a completely different genre?
You mean like mixing things up a bit?
Yeah. Like what happens when you combine, say, comedy and horror?
Ooh, interesting. It's a tough balance to strike, You don't want the humor to completely undermine the scares.
Right, but when it's done right.
It can be brilliant. You get this delicious blend of tension and release, You're on the edge of your seat 1 minute, then laughing out loud the next.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster for your emotions.
Exactly. And I think Ghostbusters is a perfect example of this.
Oh, Ghostbusters, for sure. It's a classic. Ghosts, scientists, proton packs.
And those one-liners, I ain't afraid of no ghost. Come on, who doesn't love that line?
It's iconic. But Ghostbusters also has those genuinely creepy moments, too. Like, remember that scene with the library ghost?
Oh, yeah, the librarian. Super creepy. But then, you've got Bill Murray cracking jokes, and it lightens the mood without taking away from the scariness.
It's a perfect balance. And the special effects for the time were just incredible.
Groundbreaking, really. They brought those ghosts to life in a way that had never been seen before.
But, beyond the technical stuff, I think Ghostbusters works because it has these characters that you actually care about. You're invested in their story, so those scary moments, they hit even harder.
Oh, absolutely. You're laughing with them 1 minute, then screaming with them the next. It's a wild ride. And this whole idea of finding humor in the face of fear, that's also a big part of another source we're looking at. The British sitcom Ghosts.
Ghosts, yes. I love that show. It's got such a quirky premise, This couple inherits a mansion.
That's full of ghosts.
So many ghosts. And each one is from a different historical period. So you've got this caveman trying to figure out what Wi-Fi is, a Georgian poet who's always moaning about the lack of good quill pens.
A stuffy Victorian lady who faints at the slightest provocation. It's hilarious.
It's so funny. But Ghosts also has this real warmth to it, Like, yes, the ghosts are funny, but they're also characters with their own stories, their own heartaches.
They're relatable, even though they're, dead. It reminds us that we all have these shared experiences, these universal emotions, regardless of when we lived or even whether we're, still among the living.
Right. And that brings us to our final theme, zombies and those post-apocalyptic worlds. It's interesting how these stories, they often explore, like, the darkest parts of human nature.
The breakdown of society, the struggle for survival.
Yeah. But they can also highlight, like, the importance of community, the bonds that we form when everything else falls apart.
Absolutely. It's like, in the face of unimaginable horror, we find a way to come together to support each other.
And we've got two very different takes on the zombie apocalypse to look at. First up, Z Nation. It ran for 5 seasons, and it was this crazy mix of horror, comedy, and even some social commentary.
Z Nation was definitely unique. It wasn't afraid to get dark and gritty, but it also had this sense of humor about it all. It never took itself too seriously.
And then there's Zombies, the Disney Channel musical trilogy. Talk about a different vibe. It's all bright colors and catchy tunes.
Zombies uses the zombie thing as a metaphor for acceptance, for overcoming prejudice. It's a really positive message, especially for younger viewers.
So we've gone from the depths of space to haunted mansions to zombie-infested worlds. We've seen how these themes of creatures and the supernatural can be, scary, funny, even heartwarming.
It's amazing, isn't it, how these stories, they can tap into our deepest fears, our anxieties, but also our hopes, our sense of wonder.
And I think that's why we keep coming back to them, These stories, they allow us to explore those big questions about life and death, humanity, and what lies beyond. And they let us do it in a way that's entertaining, that's engaging. It's like holding up a mirror to ourselves, but in a funhouse kind of way.
I like that. A funhouse mirror. It's a distorted reflection, sure, but sometimes those distortions can reveal truths that we might not otherwise see. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's worth asking ourselves, why are we so drawn to these stories? What do they tell us about ourselves, about our place in the world, and what new stories will we create as we continue to grapple with these timeless themes?
Those are great questions, and we'd love to hear your thoughts, listeners. What are some of your favorite examples of, creatures and the supernatural in movies and TV? What speaks to you about these themes? Share your thoughts with us, and maybe we can continue this conversation. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those imaginations running wild.